Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Tyranny with me. Bring it on.
Will do.
Let's finish exploring Lethian's Crossing, starting up here. I like the aesthetic of the that forge-bound hammer that Barrick has equipped. I think I just realized his shield doesn't appear on his body when we're not in combat. I don't like that. This wall appears to have been damaged years ago, was never properly repaired. Alright, some hide. Worn shortbow. It's not unique. Whoops. Here we go. Alright, so better DPS, better accuracy, better recovery, worse range, worse armor penetration. So I think I'm going to keep Outbreak equipped. One, because it's unique and has that passive. I don't necessarily care for the passive because it's dependent on weapon critical, but that's whatever. But the armor penetration, because when we were fighting those Bronze Brotherhood before we got to Lethian's Crossing, she was just having trouble damaging them with her base weapons. I didn't realize this had 6 armor penetration. I have to keep that in mind going forward. So I'm curious if her talent, Eternal Flame, reaps the benefits of this armor penetration. And even if the base damage for Eternal Flame does... Where's it at? Even if the 19 to 12 pierce damage does reap the benefits of the armor penetration, does the fire damage also get that armor penetration versus like fire armor? I don't know. But yeah, I think Outbreak, just for the armor penetration, is a better option for her to fall back on in case she can't, you know, damage an enemy. Since right now she does have 2 daggers equipped. And daggers aren't typically known for their armor penetration. Which, in reality, they would be a little better against armor because they're smaller. You can get in between the joints and between the helmet and, you know, find all those little gaps in the armor, but... In fact, let me double check that. Yeah, no armor penetration there, and no armor penetration there. So while they don't have like good actual armor penetration, they are good against armor. Or they would be, in reality.
Curious.
Got that right. Raven Shawl of Rogues, plus 10 Subterfuge. This feathered garment reflects no light. It seems a natural extension of the darkness. And what does she have equipped? So I like this on her, for obvious reasons. Extra DPS. Is it worth giving? I mean, right now we're not having trouble finding anything. I'm gonna put this on anyway. Just so I know that we don't have trouble finding anything. The back wall of this home has long since crumbled away, revealing the Oldwalls behind it. And some grain. Should probably...
I'll be your shadow.
I should probably go into scout mode or stealth mode in each one of these homes just to make sure I don't miss any hidden items. I'm pretty sure I didn't miss any homes here. That's Eldian's home. Siren Sanctuary. Or Syrian Sanctuary, whatever. Forgebound. Lethian's granddaughter's home. Place where we found the bow, and where we just came from. Okay. Just wanted to be sure. We're not going to go in here yet, right? Yeah, that's the Sunset Spire. So hold off on that for now. Kalia and Callian. Bronze dagger. I think that's what she already has equipped, isn't it? Actually, let me put this back in her inventory. Okay. Kalia? Sorry, I'm not interested in whatever you're selling. If you want to talk to someone, talk to my brother. Greetings, Fatebinder. Okay. Well, thanks for wasting my time. It's like you asking your parents if you can go somewhere. So why don't you go ask your mother? Why don't you go ask your father? Why don't you go ask your mother? Now we're up here to go. Let's go back down here. Oh, I thought there was like a purple stone on the ground glowing, but it was an earth shaker. Welcome to Lethian's Mistress, my lord. Please come in and enjoy.
Slow and steady.
Alright, Mistress Sophia. What a pleasure it is to see you in my establishment, Fatebinder. It's always an honor to entertain someone of your standing at Lethian's Mistress. If you have need of entertainment or company for a short time, then we look forward to fulfilling those needs. How may I and my entertainers be of service to you? Tell me more about your establishment. Lethian's Mistress started as a safe place for people to come to drink in secret, but eventually it evolved into a gathering place where drinking and... Her eyes twinkle as she considers her words. It evolved into a gathering place where drinking and fornication were both common activities. Everyone needs a way to relax, and I provide one for them. And what brought you to Lethian's Crossing? I was one of Lethian's mistresses, of course, and where Lethian went, so did I. She's very adventurous, not really the type to settle down. I may not have gotten all of her attention, but I did end up with a nice business. I've been very comfortable. And if I had to share her with various men and women around town, I was willing to be generous with her time. Do you have food and drink? We have plenty to eat and drink if your desires include those of a less carnal nature. Let me see what food and drink you have for sale. Welcome back, Fatebinder. Thank you again for gracing us with your presence. How much do you charge to partake in the entertainment? The price for all my entertainers is 100 rings for the night. If you'd like specifics, please speak to the one you'd like to hire, and they can tell you about themselves and what they are particularly good at. She smiles. But each one of my beauties will give you your ring's worth, I guarantee. Alright, let's talk to the entertainers. Hello, Zodica. The young woman smiles, her eyes widening with innocence. Welcome to Lethian's Mistress, Fatebinder, she says, blushing lightly. My name is Zodica. She giggles. Are you here to teach me the ways of the world? Jeez, man. Tell me about yourself. Zodica's face blushes bright red. She turns her head, covering her mouth with her hand. Me? She asks quietly, her voice shy. Why do you want to know about me? I'm a simple girl. I know nothing of this world or my place in it. She looks into your eyes. Are you here to teach me? Alright, what can you offer that the others can't? If you'd spend time with me, I'll play Novice Sage in the Burning Library. She steps closer, her breast brushing lightly against you. I'm lost in here, Fatebinder. If I don't behave, I'll be punished. She sails lightly and looks around. Do I need to be punished? I'm leaving. No, thank you. Hello, Timo, or Timo? A good day to you, traveler. My name is Timo. The dancer greets you while slowly gyrating her hips suggestively at your approach. Her eyes flash brightly, and she smiles, moving her hand in a welcoming gesture. Are you in need of a companion? Tell me about yourself. Timo dips her head demurely and looks at you coyly. The past has no interest for me. She speaks in a calming, dulcet tone. I like to think about here. She points to a spot between her breasts and slowly traces her finger down the front of her body. Now, what can you offer that the others can't? Timo's mouth widens into a smile. She puts a hand demurely to her lips. She leans forward, motioning with her other hand for you to move in closer. I'll perform the Oathbreaker for you. She whispers the words, the heat of her breath caressing your ear. I can make a sage give up his books if I wanted. Alright, see ya. And Lord? Welcome to Lethian's Mistress. The large man flexes his enormous biceps, his charcoal skin glistening in the light. What can Lord do for you? Do you need company today? Tell me about yourself. My life story? Sorry to say that it's short and boring. I had a happy childhood. Nothing bad ever happened. I grew up to be big and strong. I never had any health issues. I approached Mistress Sophia about a job because I like what and who I get to do here. And what can you offer that the others can't? Everything and more. Lord lets out a hearty laugh. But my specialty is the Vendrian swell. Let your imagination run wild, and it's even better than that. Gallum? Gallum. Good evening. The tall thin man smiles at your approach. And welcome to Lethian's Mistress. My name is Gallum, and it would do me no end of pleasure to serve you today. Tell me about yourself. How did you end up here? There's not much to say, really. Gallum muses quietly for a moment. I am from the north, and was traveling with a performing troupe when we were beset by bandits near Lethian's crossing. I was injured and lost consciousness, and when I came to, Mistress Sophia was nursing my wounds. The rest of the troupe died in the fight, and I had nowhere to go, so the mistress offered me a position. She knew my performing skills would come in handy. It's the best job I've ever had. And what can you offer that the others can't? If you want the ground to move and feel the walls tumbling down, I'm the man for you. I'll give you the Earthshaker's delight, and trust me, you'll never want to hire another performer again. No thank you. Alright. Let us vacate the premises. It's an interesting little establishment. The Vendrian swell. Alright, let's go to the Sunset Spire. Actually, let me swing by a merchant real fast and sell some stuff that I've picked up.
Will do.
All right. I'm pretty sure I explored everything here. I'm sure we'll be back regardless, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. There's an eerie glow of unknown origin coming from the depths of this pit.
Curious.
Note from Ironguard Ventara. As per verbal agreement, you're allowed entry into the Oldwalls at Lethian's Crossing, with the explicit instructions to find a path to the Bronze Brotherhood campsite on the other end. The items acquired inside the Oldwalls will be yours to keep in exchange for your help in this matter. Ironguard Ventara, Commander of Lethian's Crossing. Aw, let us favor to get in trouble. So we're in the Oldwalls right now. Okay. That's, I should probably have Ebb with me, right? These floor stones have been broken recently. Bits of metal nearby would suggest it's the result of careless soldiers. Iron Kyros. Bet you that's better than what I have equipped. Better armor, better slash shock armor, better crush corrode armor. Worse recovery though. But I'll take it. The sunken relief, though heavily damaged, is clearly meant to depict a runic symbol similar to the one you saw at Ascension Hall. The relief is incomplete, and thus the final form of the rune is unknown. Make a charcoal rubbing of the relief's shape to help discern the rune's design. Pressing charcoal to parchment, you capture a blurry but a proportionate image of the ancient relief. With enough collected imprints, it may be possible to reconstruct the original shape of the rune. As you work, Lantry hovers near. See how that pattern looks broken along two edges? I think there's more to the engraving than what's here. Finish the tracing. Then we'll look for more. Lantry nods. Agreed. If we collect enough sketches and imprints, we could no doubt reconstruct the original image in its entirety.
Right.
Do I need to actually look at it? A portion of an unknown sigil has been recorded on this scroll. The charcoal imprint is rough and incomplete, leaving the full design a mystery for now. Okay. The door creates a near-perfect seal with the surrounding walls. Along its surface, you see several chips and shallow gouges from failed attempts to force it open. There's nothing to interact with on its panels, and you surmise that it was never meant to be opened from this side. Okay, but if we're going to fight the Bane, I would like to have Ebb with us. Since that's what I was designing her to fight, and we're inside the Oldwalls. So Lethian's crossing Runic Hall. I mean, it's probably not worth backtracking to grab Ebb. So let's venture forth. See what lies inside.
My mother always told me to stay away from spires. Not that I ever listened.
That's the spirit. Okay, I see. This chamber immediately reminds you of Ascension Hall. An intricate rune running along the floor can only mean one thing. You stand at the feet of a great spire. Each step you take echoes across a great distance. As you gate upward, the sage-colored walls quickly give way to unending blackness. The rune in the center of the floor is inactive, and the silence of the hall offers no clues as to its use or function. You feel a slight tug in your chest, a faint echo of the energy that enveloped you at Vendrian's well. Hold a moment. Lantry bellows the comment louder than needed, smiling as he hears his voice echo through the massive chamber. My sense of direction is at all reasonable. We're standing below the spire in this region. And what do you recommend? Lantry points at the pattern on the floor. I start with the grooves and stones on the floor over there. If it's like the spire at Vendrian's well, whoever built this created a mystical conduit to the top, and I think it very, very unlikely that the pattern is purely decorative. And what do you know of the spires? Lantry raises an eyebrow. About as much as you, I'm afraid. Until our time at Vendrian's well, I didn't realize there were ways to access the upper reaches. Speaking of which, I'm certain there's a way to access the top of this spire as well. Let's keep our eyes out for sigils or glyphs nearby. Let's press on.
Watch where you step. This has trap written all over it.
Interesting rune. The sunken relief, though heavily damaged, is clearly meant to depict a runic symbol similar to the one you saw at Ascension Hall. The relief is incomplete, thus the final form of the rune is unknown. So same description as last time. So pressing charcoal to parchment, you capture a blurry but proportionate image of the ancient... We've already read this. Although the drawn rune remains incomplete, it seems likely that the completed design is symmetrical in nature. Should the need arise, you could reasonably guess its original shape. I believe this has something to do with the symbol on the floor of the spire. I agree, Lantry. Let's do it once around the edge, make sure there's no hidden...
I'll be your shadow.
objects in here. But yeah, if we have one half of the glyph, then we can figure out the pattern. Easy peasy. I think that'd be like a hidden. No, that's where we got the glyph at. Never mind. Alright. So what do we got? These grooves in the floor are inlaid with a dim incandescent material that glimmers upon closer inspection. They appear to intersect at various angles, forming a myriad of potential shapes similar to the rubbing you found. Alright, so we have, it looks like 2 triangles intersecting. Have Barrick do it. Okay. Am I not looking at it right? Does this reset it?
Affirmative.
Hope that it does. Good, okay. That's the no, it's not the reset. What does that do? It is the reset. Okay, I just canceled it. Yeah, the symbol looked like it was 2 triangles, didn't it? I can kind of see a circular shape behind it as well. Like, those would be the ones that need to be highlighted for it, I would think. Let's have to do it in a specific order. Oh, I can connect them. Okay, never mind. I figured it out. So those 2 aren't going to connect? Or how about these? Oh, I'm skipping one. There we go. Ha! See, it wasn't that bad.
On it.
I didn't realize that I had to re-click, like to reactivate the sigil to connect it to another one. Excuse me. The arcane light courses skyward, trailing off toward the horizon in the direction of Vendrian's Well. You feel the ground ripped out from beneath you, yet again as you drift back into the warmth of the energy surrounding you. Your awareness stretches beyond the limits of the spire, pulling in many directions at once. The light you saw arcing through the sky reminds you of the tether you feel to the top of Vendrian's well. This too is a point of connection. You're an inextricable part of it, bound as surely as the spires are to each other. The Sunset Spire in Lethian's Crossing feels burdened by its age, as if a central linchpin somewhere in its core has weathered the centuries of oppressive weight and longs to topple. The surge of energy that courses through you, forming a link with Vendrian's well, strengthens the very stones beneath your feet. The structural weakness you detected vanishes, replaced by confidence that could keep this tower standing for millennia. And tell me where you're writing from, Nitri speaks aloud as he pens a missive, and how to reach you, and I'll send you an iron ring for your troubles. He signs his name with a flourish, and then tosses the parchment into the wind. In the blink of an eye, the heavy currents carry the slip of parchment eastward. I had this idea of a message in a bottle without the bottle. Maybe it'll work. If I threw a dagger from up here, I wager I could split a man on the ground in half. Darn, but I want to try. From here, even the Oldwalls seem paltry. The sovereign view was not intended for the likes of us. Varric shakes his head slowly. The spire feels like a relay between you and Vendrian's well. Bridging... Super loud. There we go, okay. Wait for that to dissipate. The spire feels like a relay between you and Vendrian's well, bridging some transference of energy on an enormous scale. You're the first link of a chain that stretches the length of the realm. As you struggle to understand this sensation, you grow aware of whispers all around you. Yeah, listen closer. The whispers themselves seem to travel down the tether between you and your spires, conducting heat that feels at times unbearable. They speak of your actions, your choices, everything that led you to this place. Your name is known, your banner recognized, your deeds reported across the tiers in the Northern Empire alike. For an instant, you can see the accumulated hope and fear these whispers represent. It appears like dewdrops settling on a leaf, then trickling into a shared basin. This image is fed to you through your connection, a base metaphor that only hints at the true scope. There is power in these spires, though its source is unfamiliar. Were you to harness it, you suspect that nothing would stand beyond your reach. The unlocking this spire seems to have opened some deeper connection. I don't know what you've done, but standing near you warms my rusted plates. Makes me feel lighter somehow. Curious, I'm noting something I also observed at the spire in Vendrian's well. There's a mystic hum, and it has little beats when you walk, tiny fluctuations when you talk. Unless my senses are deceiving me, you and the spires are mystically attuned to each other. Most fascinating indeed. A quill pen appears in his hand, and the old sage begins furiously jotting notes on his arm. You look taller somehow, like you command a dozen gangs without any challengers to knife you in the back. Your powers increased, you acquired Sunset Spire. Alright, so all these look pretty good. They only cost 10. I assume that I can get all these upgrades, right? So let's grab the forge. I sure want to build this upgrade on the spire. This action cannot be cancelled. Yeah. Oh, it's gonna pass time. Well, that's fine. We're not in a time limit, I don't think. Okay, that's alright. You have to pay upkeep costs. So it looks like you only get one upgrade per spire. I was not aware of that. I was assuming that I could get all those upgrades here. You're from this height. The Portusker River is fast and expansive. Over here, a small settlement resides on the bank of the large river. Alright, let's loot. Welcome to your forge, Fatebinder. Sigil of Piercing. Whoops. And I leveled up. Fantastic. $10 bronze ingots. And 10 iron ingots.
Huh.
Ardent Bronze Sword. Is that one-handed or two-handed? One-handed. How does it compare to Barracks, Current? It's better accuracy and better recovery, less armor penetration, so I'm not going to take it. We'll just sell that in the future.
Yes.
Alright, let's level up my main character. Vitality. So I'm interested in killing Rush at some point. Resurgence also seems pretty good. It's a free revive. Is it once per encounter or once per rest? Oh, it just has a 2-minute cooldown. That's pretty good. I wonder if that's worth getting over Refuse Pain. Or Will of Command. Maybe not yet, because we don't die often. So I'm going to grab Refuse Pain. So where's it at? 3 seconds, it sends out a pulse that generates an aura of will that removes harmful effects from you and each ally every few seconds. Sure, we'll take that. This is the Sunset Spire, so we can hire more people. I'll look through that off camera, I think. See who's worth hiring. So again, we can only get, what, 6 per spire. So I do need to pick and choose. Unique weapons. I'm probably going to grab that guy. I'm starting to feel like I don't have enough money. Oh, so many upgrades to get. I feel like both of these would be good to have. Unique weapons, and I assume getting someone that can supply me with iron ingots and bronze ingots. So both of those would probably be good for the forge as well. A lot of choices. Actually, you know what? While I'm thinking about it, let's go ahead and hire the merchants. So unique weapons. It's a little expensive. I get metal armors and... Well, you know, it's probably... I don't know if it's worth it. Because I can probably find stuff along the way. Regardless, I probably shouldn't hire another one yet. Because I only have 25 bronze. Alright, this is probably a good place to call it. In the next episode, we'll speak to Volus, Master of Smiths. And maybe Siren as well. Go knock out her conversation. In the meantime, thanks for watching. Hope to see you guys in the next one.